Welcome everyone that's out still filling in. We are going to have a Haunt Me finale recap live stream tonight. So thank you guys for joining. Anna is hot and ready on those questions that you guys are already asking. So we'll get to those in just 1 second. But most of all, I wanted to just thank everyone for coming here tonight. We are going to talk to some guests that you saw on the show, kind of recap our experience there. Like Anna said, there's going to be a couple prizes drawn for anyone asking questions. The moderator is in there right now checking the feed to make sure that we get your question answered. And so stick around till the end so that we can figure out who won. And then lastly, we're just going to talk about some of the best moments that we had at Waverly Hills. So please drop your questions to Anna, or all of us. Anna will read them. But while Anna is gathering those questions, we'd like to kick it off immediately into a clip of some of our best of moments from Waverly Hills. So we'll be right back.
I think this will be a reminder for us and hopefully for future investigators that things are as they are and that is okay.
I have been working on getting a location for like the past 3 years at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Nope.
We set this table for you. We invite you to join us, to spend time with us. If you're here, 1, 2. What the fuck? Okay. Please don't touch Ty. You can touch me. You can tell Ty your story.
Guys.
Okay. Get out, come on. What is your name? What is the doctor's name?
Sir. Find me. Jesus. It sounded just like that, guys.
We as living humans are really good at haunting the world around us.
I started kind of approaching them that way and just saying, hey, we're not sick, we can't get sick.
Just kind of sit and meditate, see what you come up with. And I think it would be powerful to do that and then to see if the tech answers that you get line up.
Really where music and the paranormal begin to intersect is the idea that, music is memory.
And I always encourage my guests when they come on an overnight, just like I'm going to encourage you guys now. If you do decide to come back up, spend some time with them, be sweet, be kind.
It's party time.
Welcome to the Haunt Me Halloween party, everybody.
Happy Halloween. Woo! Stepped on something. Aren't you supposed to have like perfect aim?
What would your advice be to us to go again?
Be respectful.
What's the story of Waverly Hills Sanatorium?
I was hoping you would sit and talk with me for a bit. We can't get tuberculosis, so please feel free to visit.
To whom it may concern, we're reaching out because things may seem dire, and we would never diminish your experience, but if you're reading this, know that 3 strangers who you may never meet deeply care about you and the life that you are living. Where you can, find joy. Your unknown friends, Ty, Anna, and Carol.
I had such a blast with you guys. Like, just rewatching that was pretty good.
The Halloween party really, I want to redo that and experience that again.
I think it was such a fun idea. I wish we brought more to the party. Now that I'm thinking of it, we lacked in snacks, but we lacked in snacks. We made up for in games. And yeah. I have to say, one of my favorite things was seriously like listening to the music that you guys were playing to invite all the friends while I was setting up for the party. It was just echoing through the halls, and I could tell like which floor you guys were on by how far away the music sounded. It was eerie as hell, but I loved it too.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Anna, I think we're blowing up with some questions right now.
Oh, we've got some good questions happening here.
Okay, let's do that. We're going to bring our first guest in about 10 minutes or so. So let's answer those questions. Talk about some of our favorite Waverly moments. If it doesn't come up in the questions, then we'll give you guys some more footage of, it's called a clip called Not Anna, which that'll be good in about 10 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so picking a random one. Oh my goodness. For Carol, how did it feel watching yourself laying in the morgue in pitch black darkness?
I don't know. I was having an outer body experience. I don't remember how I felt at all. I remember all of it, and watching myself back. It's more annoying that I can't portray how terrified I really was. It looks like there is a light on me, but it's really just another IR camera. I'm in pitch black. I can feel the distance between Anna and Ty. I can feel every inch between us, the floors. I know how far down I am in this morgue, and I'm like talking crap, and then stuff actually starts to happen, like tapping, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, like the paranoia is no longer paranoia, like stuff's happening. It's going down. I was white knuckling my hand and like digging my nails into my hand, and
the counting the screws was great.
Oh yeah, I forgot I even did that.
I loved also too that our producer caught the throw that I had when I was getting poked and prodded again alone on the fourth floor. And I sent it to you to go tap on the side. Because I remember that happened when we were there 13 years ago to our group leader at the time. So I just threw it out there casually. And it's amazing that the producer was able to catch the fact that they started tapping on the outside of your morgue after I said
it's so weird that that's the specific thing that you did. And I can't believe that he added in that part when he was editing. When I was giving up, going to sleep. I don't have to deal with it if I just go to sleep.
Well, good strategy, Carol. Pass out and then you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, I know.
It's the thought process. If you hide under the blankets, they can't get you.
Yeah, what's another question up there?
Yeah, absolutely. So Paul asks, how do you guys get into the right mindset before actually going into your investigation? Like, how do you mentally prepare?
Man, that's
Carol's like, I don't. They prepare for me.
No, if she said no, that's a big lie. We all have...
I didn't say no.
I'm sorry.
Prepping. Go for it, Carol. How do you prepare?
I huffed because we have a certain mindset, and it quickly, everything we plan just goes right out the window, and we have to go, oh, look, everybody's going like this. Huh?
I think over the years, what Carol's talking about is so true, in that the plan used to be very dedicated what we want to accomplish and like how we want to accomplish it. And over the years with Haunt Me, it's really devolved to acceptance of a blueprint at best. And the mindset that you have to get into is that calm ability to stay elastic as soon as the plans go off the rail, because they will immediately.
It's everything. You just so I think the best preparation you can have is to expect the unexpected, and then 1, you'll never be disappointed, and 2, you'll never be surprised. So it's a lot easier.
Prep the mindset is literally bring everything that you have, so at least it's on you, because even if you don't plan on using it, this will be the time that you need it if you leave it behind.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
I know we're nearing into our guest, but this next question kind of is a great segue. So West of Weird, who I think Courtney actually answered this question in the chat, but we can delve into it more. How did Courtney find the box of records that were not yet digitized that she went through for research purposes and gain access to them? Librarians are your best friend. Support your libraries. Support your spooky librarians. Support Courtney Block. She is great.
I have a question for Courtney about that. When she's able to join in about, I think it's 5 minutes from now. So yeah, remind me in 5 minutes that I have a question about her research that I've been dying to ask, based on our experience when we were at Hinsdale last year, Anna, and the careful wording of how we had to express what we were looking for on the microfiche. That nice librarian at Hinsdale was very kind, helping us along until she realized which newspaper from 1970 we were looking for. And then it was kind of like, oh, let us know if we can help you.
Have you, so we, in some of these episodes, we, like, you delved into something that you, was kind of personal with your first experience, Ty, in the dreams that followed you. Crystal's wondering if you've had any dreams and experience since this time, and if so, is it anything like you experienced before?
Yeah, so what I experienced before was very scary. Like the extent of the dream is Carol is like one of the only people that have heard all the details. What I shared on the show obviously got sterilized a little bit. But basically, the cool thing about the dream is that it faded off on its own when I kind of dealt with it on my own and with my own growth track. When I did what I did this time at Waverly, it just felt different. I didn't feel like I was open and letting something worm its way in like it did last time. I was in control with the right group of people, and it was pretty awesome. That I kind of knew that I was safer this time, and instead of having Waverly press in on me during that Estes method, you guys pressed in on it, and that was really cool to watch you guys not back down and not let me end up with some more mental scar tissue because, like, we didn't win or something like that. I felt like that was a pretty cool winning moment.
So I have a question for you with that Estes method. Said things like demon and blah, blah, blah. Was it a demon?
No, it's never, like, that's the thing where as soon it felt threatening, but again, you want to like stay out of that moment. You just want to be the mouthpiece. You just want to, I don't know, regurgitate what you're hearing.
Yeah.
But it said demon over and over and over again. And that is one of the things that, unfortunately, like, you're not supposed to, but I did censor it after the first maybe.
Oh, no, Ty.
Because it's like, they get it. Like, everyone's getting it. And it's one of those things where it's like, I could say it over and over and over and over again, but all that's doing is adding fear. It's not adding more information. You guys understood it. And when it said demon, the thing that popped into my mind was like Carol talking about a trickster, where just like if it was a demon, it's not going to announce itself that way. And also weak showing. If that's what you got, you have Anna. What the demon of the Estes method session did this time was have you turn to the camera for literally the most amazing screenshot ever. That's what the demon was doing this time.
I'm the queen of gymming the camera.
It's so good. Take it straight to the office.
Pam is it time?
It's time. Do you want to let Courtney in now? So maybe everyone can ask Courtney research questions too.
Oh my Courtney, I think it's time. Wait, I don't think I let her in. I think our producer lets her in.
So while we do that, let's jump to the not Anna clip where we're letting the famous paranormal researcher Courtney Block in. So you guys talk and ask questions to her as well.
What is the not Anna clip?
I know. What is that?
Who's on this floor that wants to speak with us? If you can't give your name, can you give your title? Are you a doctor? Are you a nurse?
This is Carol, possibly a very low voice saying, "Who's that?"
My name's Ty, and I'm a friend. I don't work here, and I'm not a patient. I'm just a visitor. What's your position? Again, doctor?
A male voice, I can't figure out what it said.
Can you try one more time, please, to give me your position here? Doctor? Actually, could you tell me the name of this building? Yeah, what was that? Come here. Come on down. Come tell Carol what we can do to help you if you want to leave here without being
For
discharged.
me, it was a male voice.
Totally happy to help you get out. We just have to meet up somewhere. Where do you want us to meet up, and then we can help you leave? If you don't want to do it illegally, well, not legally, if you want to be on the level about it, maybe we can sign the papers and then, have a formal release.
Oh, wow. There's a young male, more than one. Oh, there was an older male that says, hi.
Hello.
This is Carol. Those last two were actually kind of really neat.
If that's not Anna. Anna? 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 Hey. Hey.
What?
Someone's coming towards us. I just want you out. Someone's walking towards us that way. Anna? You can turn it off,
I don't know how.
Just unplug it. Anna? A door opened and footsteps came to the point where we said it was Anna to get you out. It was right after the man said hello. Can you keep coming, please? We don't want to frighten you. We're going to stay here for a second, but we'd love you to keep coming.
You heard a door open?
The door opened and footsteps came out like Anna was...
I thought I heard it from the left direction.
Really? Let's go back to old school. Just, yeah, put it anywhere. Sorry to pull you out.
No, I'm shook. I'm glad you did. I could tell the way you were tapping me. That's why I ripped him off.
Yeah, it had to be fast.
Well, I wasn't there, but you know who's here? Courtney.
Who's here? That's awesome.
Hey,
Hi,
Courtney.
Oh my gosh, thanks so much for having me. I'm like trying to contain my excitement because I am just such a huge fan of you all. So
Oh my God. Likewise, I feel like I'm going to get tongue-tied because I'm a little starstruck, if I'm going to be honest. Like we were quoting you through our investigation, like the full 2 days of just like something would happen and I'd spin to Anna be like, what did Courtney tell you? It was really funny. It was awesome. And, we've interacted on like Twitter is like the most that I've been able to speak with you. So this is an awesome experience for me right now. Having been fortunate enough to go through, Anna, what was it? 400 pages of Waverly historical.
So many articles.
I went through it all. Like if you know, if a paranormal researcher is going to hand you a gold mine, you eat it all. So that was what I did going into Waverly.
Awesome. Yeah. And Anna already had like a pretty big like jump start on the research, like when she reached out. So, I mean, kudos also to the research skills, and the stuff that you found there, Anna.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So-
You are an inspiration. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Anna, do you mind
paranormal
giving-
goals.
Do you mind giving like Courtney like an official like introduction of like how you guys got connected, and then like what went through your thoughts and why to bring Courtney in to help with a very sensitive yet important research for this Waverly Hills saga?
Yeah. So Courtney, I started following us on Instagram, and then I don't know, I guess she and I just got connected, and I like part of me has always wanted to be a librarian, and I kind of went in a different direction, but to see someone combining the paranormal and like literary research was really like awesome and inspiring. And Courtney, you have 2 books now, like just giving people resources on the paranormal. Like, so like Courtney is like a huge resource when it comes to this sort of thing. I mean, do you want to talk about sort of like how you got here and like what led you down this path? Kathy also asks, do you have any research tips?
Oh my gosh. Well, so I have any research tips? That reminds me of how sometimes my friends, like when I go to parties, people will just be like, don't ask her. Just don't ask her about libraries because she'll never shut up. So yes, I have many tips. But first of all, just thank you so much for the support. I am like, I just write back at you guys for just being so amazing and supportive and awesome at what you guys bring to like the paranormal table. I've been a fan since season 1. I remember like watching some of the seasons like with my mom and just being like, you gotta watch these guys, like let's watch them together. So to be here right now is like a little crazy, but
No. No.
Tell your mom I say hi.
I will. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Anna, I think you and I got connected through me like following Haunt Me, and then you, and recognizing that you do a lot of like historical research and like grad school stuff, and we would kind of talk back and forth about that. But honestly, the reason that I started this like the book writing journey is because at the end of 2018 I was in a huge like personal and professional burnout phase. And I saw this call for proposals come through on an email listserv, and it was like, hey, this publisher, we're a publisher, we're accepting new ideas for research books. And I was like, sure, I have an idea about how people can credibly research the paranormal. And I kind of sent it off like flippantly, thinking like they're not gonna take this seriously, but they did. And I was like, oh, what have I done? But the idea was really born out of the fact that so many people, students like would come up to the reference desk and they would be curious about the paranormal, but they would either be apologetic for having an interest in the paranormal, or they would assume that there was no credible research. And so I just began to think like, well, I love the paranormal, so how can I use my interest in it with my research skills to show people there's so many amazing resources and you're not weird. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
fantastic.
And so is your second book out yet? I was tracking for a while. Did it come out like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it came out like October 22nd, just a few weeks ago. It's so weird to see it. Look at that.
That's your name right there.
That's right. Well deserved too.
So bizarre. Thank you. And I always love to tell people, if anyone's interested, like ask your library to get a copy for you. Save your money, ask your library to get it for you and read it that way.
So I'm gonna like pivot real quick. We have the link to your Amazon here. So if someone could drop that in the chat, because asking a library is great. You should do that. But you should also buy copies and support artists and independent researchers. So yeah, please support Courtney. That's all I'm gonna say, because like I want to say one of the questions that I want to ask my team while you're here, Courtney, to just kind of like throw more laurels onto you while we have you, is I know my answer to this, but Anna and Carol, after seeing all the research and hearing the interview that Anna did with Courtney, how did that change how you personally wanted to face off with Waverly?
So that's a great question that Crystal also asked in the chat.
Okay, great minds.
So I think, Carol, is it okay if I jump in?
Yeah, of course.
I think one of the coolest things, I mean, it didn't necessarily, it shaped how I wanted to go into this, right? So Courtney is located in the area, which was super awesome. And she went to a local library and found a box of undigitized articles, which wasn't about Waverly being haunted. It was about the people who built Waverly and supported Waverly and raised money for Waverly. And that is what a lot of my theory or an approach for Waverly, like that informed a lot of it, because this was like a pride and joy for these people. And we're looking at it as, or excuse me, the paranormal world has looked at it so frequently as this big, scary, desolate, evil building, and that wasn't what it was at all.
She put more of a face to it. You know what I mean? There was more of a face, a recognizable face, that it wasn't so scary. There was, it just, I don't know. I guess you know how I said I always felt this pull to it. It made sense to hear the history of what it used to be and how people actually cared for it. I'm like, maybe that's what I'm picking up on. Maybe that's exactly the energy I'm picking up on. Yeah, it definitely, I questioned everything after hearing all that history.
And I think that was super necessary too. Courtney, I think I messaged you this too, because it really helped me get in the right headspace of what I wanted to project as my thesis of Waverly Hills, because like to go into Waverly Hills and have my thesis be I believe it's haunted is pretty lame. So like I wanted to go a step beyond, and you helped me get there in the aspect of it is haunted, but how do we as investigators haunt these places too? That was a question I did not have before hearing you and Anna's interview. So my question to you, Courtney, is if you've watched our episodes back, no problem if you haven't, but if you did watch it back, how do you feel that our investigation embraced and honored your research?
Oh gosh, I love that. I have watched the episodes.
Okay.
And I love what you said to sort of segue into this answer. I love what you said, Carol, about how it put a face to it, because to me, I think that's something that's so beautiful about research, especially historical research. And something that you said, Ty, in this episode where you were like, haunted houses were once filled with loving people, and like, you know, Waverly Hills was full of these people having very, you know, real and poignant human experiences. I mean, talk about like relatable, like here we are, like still in a pandemic. I mean, I feel like we can kind of relate now in a way to, you know, people at Waverly, but okay, now I'm just like segueing. I think that one of the ways that I think you guys really embraced that was honoring the fact that there was this face to Waverly, like when Anna set the table and had that moment. Honestly, that like watching that part made me a little emotional. Just because I feel like I think what you guys did a really great job at was bringing, which I think you've done a great job at throughout the series, like from season 1 onward, is bringing this like aspect of compassion. And like that question that you asked, Ty, like when you, I can't remember who was doing an Estes perhaps, but you asked like, what's the story of Waverly? And so I think the way that you guys really embraced like the research was, yeah, just referencing the fact that like, this is a place that like real humans had real, very poignant, very meaningful, very tragic, but also very happy at times experiences. And you honored that instead of honoring the fear, which is something that you guys talk about over and over and over in this season.
Yeah, thank you for that. No, that's awesome to hear from you for sure. Anna, we only have Courtney for just a little while longer. Are there any questions popping up specifically to Courtney while we have her?
I mean, I just like, Courtney, tell us about like what got you into the paranormal. I know it's a basic question, but I love hearing origin stories.
No, it's not a basic. I love that too. I feel like I just my mom has always been into the paranormal. And I feel like just growing up and watching, you know, some of those spooky shows and like unsolved mysteries and like so many people. And this is why I also love this question. I remember reading a book when I was like a little kid that I got, I don't know, from my school library maybe. And it was about like haunted United Kingdom, because it was like Loch Ness and the Tower of London. And I just remember like being hooked and like fascinated, and there you go.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that a book hooked you. That's great.
I feel like that's a lot of people's origin stories, you know, with the paranormal. And yeah, I don't know.
No, that's fantastic. Well, before we let you go, do you mind doing a shameless plug to where people can find you and your research?
I don't mind. Thank you for the chance. You can find my books, like Ty said, at Amazon, but you can also go, I put the link to my publisher, roman.com, and you could use the code RLF and F30 to get 30% off. That also works on the ebooks. It gets you 30% off the ebooks. You could also ask your library to get a copy for you. And I am most active on Instagram under liminal.librarian.
Please follow her. Like, there's no downside to following Liminal Librarian. It's a fantastic. Just
my favorite part about following her are like the 10:30 ghost stories. So it's like 10:30 at night. I'm like just getting ready for bed, and she's like going over old articles and talking about ghosts, and it's just so perfect. So follow liminal.librarian.
So if you guys want those 10:30 ghost stories too, well, we're off. After this season, please kick off to Courtney. But we have another clip to bring you while we say goodbye to Courtney. Anna, this is your scrying mirror experiment. Can you tell people, like in under 10 seconds, like what you were doing here and what the goal of the scrying mirrors at the table were?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just wanted to have them join us. So it was essentially like a mystical chair was kind of the idea there. Was like, here's a place, you know, to be a part of this circle and join us. And that's what I was aiming at.
Perfect. So let's kick over that clip and just say thank you so much, Courtney, for being with us tonight. And we'll
thank you so much, Courtney.
Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go happy cry. Okay.
Stay in touch. Talk to you soon. We'll roll this clip and we'll be back in a moment.
We all have these mirrors for people to come join and maybe see out of, sitting in these seats next to us. And we've had practice with the black mirror that Anna has, which is a polished piece of obsidian. And what Anna's trying to do is similar to what I did at Hinsdale, which is just to look what's happening on the other side, like almost use it as a window. So I guess the way that I would put it is like poke a hole, you know, like have a little porthole of see what's going on.
Like the third eye, look, but look past.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Exactly. I wondered what like if you could get really good at it, what that would. There was a white light up. This is getting weird. Like if you could hold that meditation of looking at. I mean,
Keep going. Sorry.
stuff usually does get weird when that mirror comes out, you know? One thought I had was like, if you can poke a hole with that mirror and like look through it, how neat would it be to be able to hold that mental state and walk around and like use it almost as like a viewfinder, like looking around and being like, okay, that's what's on the other side there, you know? That was up that staircase, right? Is your face doing anything, you know?
Not especially. I mean, it disappeared for a while.
That's the first step. You gotta kind of hold that. And then let your mind just kind of flow while you're walking down the halls.
I know. And I'm not going back to get the mats alone. Can't do it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't.
Do you want to try it, Carol? Do you feel comfortable with that? You see an old man with a beard, it's something from Hinsdale stuck in there.
I feel something weird on my back again.
It's the static again?
Yeah, but it was in the middle of my back.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just weird. It's a weird ass feeling.
A weird ass feeling.
Yeah, it's a weird ass feeling. I am so sorry. I thought I just saw somebody stand up over there behind the IR again. Fuck.
Someone's lurking in the corner. Can you show Carol your face? Carol would like to see who you are.
Something over there?
Mm-hmm. Right at the periphery. Thought I saw something just walk. Again.
Person?
feet and nothing above it. Or bat.
That was you, right? You just hit your chair.
I did not.
Did someone sit down?
Can you show us your face? Tell us your name.
I'm about to set this down.
Where are you from? Can you stop hiding in the corners?
I love it. It gives you like a little bit of like an unedited view of our time at Waverly Hills, just spooky stuff going on. But speaking of spooky stuff going on, we are joined by Ashley Brooks, who helped us out on this investigation and who helped start Haunt Me. Hi, Ash.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I love the background you got going on there. It's very
I'm in
spooky.
the recording booth. Yes.
Love it. So have you watched the episodes, Ash?
I
you were
have,
part of the
yes.
second one. What did you think? What was your overall take of the Waverly investigation?
I think it was wonderful. I feel like I got to experience it so much. I mean, I've heard so many stories over the years from both Ty and Carol about their past experiences at Waverly. So getting to kind of follow along and get these visual aids for all those stories was so cool. And I feel like you guys did an amazing job. It was extremely respectful and just inquisitive. I feel like you tried a lot of different techniques and it was super inspiring.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Was there anything, having seen it now and attaching those stories to like the video, was there anything that surprised you about Waverly at all? Like anything about like the structure, how big it was, or like what, you know, the history that we found out that we shared with on the show?
I mean, a lot of it, yeah, the size for one. I mean, you had talked about how large it was, but I don't think I was kind of prepared. I'd seen photos, but just seeing the way that you were walking through it and all the floors and just how vast it was, how much it stretched, and then the grounds around it, it was a lot bigger than photos could have shown. And I think also the history too, like your interview with like the current owner was super interesting, and just getting to hear about the history and also the way that like the spirits have changed over time. Super fascinating as well.
Well, I have to personally thank you for Skyping in when you did for that meditation. Can you just tell everyone a little bit about what went into creating that meditation and why you did it the way that you did to kind of ground us back down?
Yeah, so I kind of, I mean, I didn't have a full plan going in because I didn't know exactly what was needed without having talked with you all. And so I just knew I wanted to do some sort of guided meditation for you through words, and finding out that I think when I asked you, you said you were all feeling a little bit ungrounded. There was stuff going on, but it seemed kind of disconnected. There were a lot of noises on the periphery. Everyone was a bit on edge, but there was no concrete feeling. And so I think it was just about calming down, getting really centered. And it was on the new moon that you were there. So I think I had gone in with some like new moon tactics in mind in terms of like going inward, which is what you're supposed to do around the new moon. It's all about like the shadow and going inside and having these sort of quiet experiences with things. And it's actually the full moon tonight as we're speaking. So that's a nice little full circle thing.
Just like the moon itself, Ashley.
Oh God. I was hoping someone wasn't gonna say it, and then Ty said it. We were all thinking it, buddy.
I'm punching it.
Yes. Was Mercury in retrograde when we went as well?
Trying to remember. I can pull that up on my phone.
Something was off.
Yeah,
I mean, with us.
Do you remember the date?
The date that we were at Waverly? I'd have to look at my phone to get the exact.
It was Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
That's right, it was.
So that was May.
Around the 25th, I believe. While you're looking that up, someone mentioned Hinsdale seems like you were able to connect more with earth energy. It seems so much more distant in a place like Waverly. Which is kind of interesting, like thinking about sort of the elements in these different places. And I know you weren't physically there, Ash, but like, did you get any sort of feeling compared to Hinsdale or even like the beginning of Haunt Me? Like, how does it compare without being like, yeah, it's definitely scarier because it is.
Yeah. So Mercury was in retrograde. You were right about that.
Okay.
Yes. And as far as the way, I mean, it was interesting because when I was doing the meditation, I was trying to tap into the energy of Waverly as much as I could. And it was so funny because in watching the video back, I was like, I had no idea I was like rocking back and forth the whole time. I think I was just like getting in the zone of what Waverly was like. And it was just like a lot of energy. Like, I don't think I usually do that when
I would agree. I don't know that I've seen you do that.
No, I don't do that. So that was an interesting thing. I had no memory of having done that while I was guiding you. So I did think the energy was very potent, and yeah, it was a lot. Hinsdale was different. I mean, a lot of people go to Hinsdale, but so many people have been to Waverly. I mean, just in terms of even, the humans that once lived there or were treated there and stayed there, there were people coming in and out, whereas Hinsdale, being a family home, was just a smaller structure. And yeah, there are people coming in and out now, but I think that like that core energy was a little bit smaller.
Yeah, the vibe check was so different. At Hinsdale, for me, I don't want to speak on behalf of the girls here, but for me, it felt like Hinsdale was one giant entity that was, puppet string, smaller entities, and it just always had its like glaring focus on us. Waverly is like, you're just hundreds of small, like entities happening by, and you're entering their zone in a different way. Hinsdale felt very territorial, where Waverly feels like being the odd man out in the crowd, if that makes sense. But
I like that.
Like, is that fair, do you think?
Yeah, I like that. Hinsdale was definitely territorial, and Waverly is a full house, for sure.
Absolutely. I think that definitely works there. Ash, how do you feel like tonal cosmology might be able to help at Waverly Hills like it helped in Hinsdale, knowing that like we have patient dates where they were put into I don't want to say like put into the sanatorium. That's not fair, right, Anna? They self-checked in. I read some stories where it seemed like they were placed there, but
I mean, I think every situation was probably different.
Okay.
I mean, if you think there were children there, they probably were volunteered there by their parents.
So we have some of those dates, Ash, but it's not as date focused as like having the diary of Hinsdale House. But where do you think there might be examples where we might be able to perhaps on a return visit fit in tonal cosmology and have it do good work as well?
Yeah, I think that the dates are a great place to start. I think any significant date that's going to help you to tap into the energy of what was going on at that time. And, you could use that for communication, but you could also use it to understand what the prevailing emotion was at the time. I kind of feel like that can sort of settle that mood upon the building when you connect with the music in that way. And did you guys get a date when you were doing the Estes method? I feel like I remember hearing a date. That could also be interesting.
Am I right, Aaron? It was May 8th kept coming up, but no year, so like that creates an issue. But, we had patient record files, and I think Anna found 2 entries for patients that had either an intro or an exit on the 8th, if I'm remembering right.
So there was a name that had come through, or Oh my word. But yes, so the date had come through and I looked up the date and attached it to a name of a woman who had died there. So we do have that and would certainly be something we could try. Also, I mean, I think there's like there are probably like we could pull like even a Halloween, knowing that they had those parties, or like opening day, you know, kind of getting that vibe going. I think could be really cool to experiment with.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring Ash back. But before we let Ash go, are there any questions in the chat? Does anyone have any questions specifically for Ash, either about her work in helping us out and helping us ground out what we really needed during the Waverly Hills Saga, or any other seasons that Ash was on? I'm sure she'd be happy to answer those questions. Anything there, Anna?
Not yet. I asked one that had come through already.
Okay.
So, but I mean, someone says, Alethea says, Ash, you offer such powerful tools that support the team in investigation. Love your energy. Which, and I have to say, like, so I'm kind of watching the chat, and I'm sorry it's so hard to do the both. But like when you came on, everybody popped, and everybody like, I think we're all so excited that you're here and back and on this team. And I know we said it the last time, but it deserves saying again. So it's nice. I don't know. It's great.
Thank you so much. It's always such a pleasure, and I'm sorry I couldn't physically be there, but I feel like this was the next best thing for sure.
No,
totally.
Thank you for being a part of it at all. We have a short clip next, which it's fun. Ash, do you remember OMG Birds from season 1?
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to be back after this clip with Raven Quinn, but instead of OMG Bats, OMG Birds, this is OMG Bats coming up.
So, real quick, you better cut this out. Wow. I'm trying to ask you a question, I can't.
Just take your time.
What's this?
My God.
What's this?
I got that. Okay, there's bats in here.
Oh, God.
It worked last time, so I just... Is it a room? Is it a bat? 2. Okay. 3. Oh my God. Found the bats.
All right. So I'm gonna just get started by looking around because I haven't been up here in a while. Jesus. I'm sorry. No, that's okay.
That bat, it felt like it clipped my head.
Yes, it went right by you again. I just watched it.
God. I'm gonna be so grossed out at the wind that I kept feeling.
Did it get you?
Yeah.
Did it touch you?
It's like right above my head.
Okay.
Girl, we're gonna do the bend and crouch.
Okay, yeah. Just like
yeah, this one's a low flyer.
Oh, Jesus.
There's 2 low flyers.
Okay. Yeah, okay. It's like we're in the trenches.
We have become the creepy crawler.
Maybe that's why he's doing it.
Oh, God.
It will never get old.
No, gotta love those bats.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Speaking of creepy cool things, here's Raven Quinn on our live stream tonight. How you doing, Raven?
Hi guys, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Of
so
course.
for those of you who don't know, Raven is a jack of all trades when it comes to stuff. I don't want to get your titles wrong, but I'll list off paranormal investigator, singer, songwriter. She's a musician as well, and she has multiple records out, as well as a ton of investigations under her belt, which is why she was my interview person for Waverly Hills. So just wanted to welcome Raven in here, the creator of the Alchemy album that was just on the screen. So thank you for joining, Raven.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me tonight. I always love to hang out with my haunt me buddies.
Appreciate you having you here. So my first question to you, Raven, is I reached out to you on the topic of music and memory. And just basically a really wild thought of how do you feel that music, rhythm, that energy might transcend death? And that was the assignment, right? What were your thoughts on that when I came up with a really loaded question?
Well, I think that I talked a little bit about it on the show, but basically to recap, I think that music is such a deeply emotional, weirdly psychological art form. It gets into your brain in ways that other art forms just don't. And there's actual science around the idea that music and smell are like intrinsically linked to memory. And there's even been studies with dementia and Alzheimer's patients that seemingly have no connection to, their reality anymore, don't remember, important people in their life, their children, their spouses. And suddenly, you play them the song that was their favorite song in 11th grade or something, and here they are, and they are visibly in a moment, they're singing along with the words, their tears are coming, and you see them time travel to a point in their life where memories are clearly very vivid. And I think that there's a really interesting connection between the idea that in life, music can get into our brains in that way and root itself to memories, to moments, to people, to feelings and heartbreak and joy and all those things. And I think that of all of the art forms, if there was one that would follow you through to the other side, it would be death, or it would be music, and it would follow you through beyond the realm of death. And so it's kind of like the idea of what goes on with Stranger Things, right? Like, right. What's the song that would bring you back, right? What's your Vecna shield? That's what music is. And I think that was one of my favorite parts of Stranger Things. Was I was like, oh, they touched on that. That's so cool. They made it a plot point.
You did.
That was one of my favorite parts as well. And especially, yes, it was like everything was so symbolic through music, and right? I loved that.
And I did too. So cool.
Raven, Carol and I actually talked about it afterwards, where I was having problems during the show of like, this is a large idea that I put on you to try to dictate and share, right? Like, it's a big thought form to try to convey on very quickly and succinctly on a web series. Mm-hmm. And I had this like anxiety of like, what if we aren't sharing like Raven's thoughts appropriately, if we're not integrating them well into the episode? What if it doesn't land? And then we were served with that Stranger Things just like amazing moment over the summer after we had investigated. And I was like, everyone's going to get it. Everyone's going to get why we're talking about music now. I'm on board. Thank you, Stranger Things, for explaining it to everybody. But it's exactly it, right?
Right. That literally is it. And I did the same thing when that hyper emotional episode. I mean, if you haven't watched Stranger Things at this point, I don't even care about spoilers. Like, get on it. What are you doing? I almost was like, oh, I don't want to do spoilers. Whatever. So yeah, like at that moment I was like, oh, everyone's going to completely understand what we were talking about. Cause that's the moment. That's, what's the song that brings you back. And so I love the idea of, especially with, really legendary locations like Waverly. I love the idea of bringing in music that's relevant to the time, because there's just not a lot of things that are going to pull at your heartstrings like the songs that are attached to your most important memories. And if you're a person that was kind of stuck in Waverly for a very long time, and your life has become, this place and the people in this place, then those those associations through the music that was happening at the time are going to be really important.
Yeah. So to our audience, real quick, we have Raven for another 5 minutes or so. So if you have questions about her assisting us on the investigation, her own personal investigations, or her music, please drop those in the chat right now so that we can ask them before she has to go. Also, drop your Vecna song if you understand what we're talking about. I want to hear what your song would be. I light that chat up. I want to see what.
I want to know what Raven's Vecna song is.
Man, we've talked about this a lot. She has.
I could tell you right off the top of my head. My Vecna song is "Tonight Tonight" by the Smashing Pumpkins. That's my Vecna song.
A good one.
There's a few. I mean, I would definitely pick "Dreams" by the Cranberries would also be a Vecna song. But I think Tonight Tonight was the moment when I was a kid where I was like, I want to do this with my life. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, watching that video, I was just like I don't know, so good.
That's awesome. Someone said "In Between Days" by The Cure.
Excellent choice.
I have to lean on you all because like literally I do not know any pop culture. Also, Ty is frozen.
Okay.
If y'all are getting this
in the
fantastic image of Ty.
Will someone take a picture of him?
I got girl. I got you. It will be immortalized.
It was the best moment ever too.
It's so good. It's so good. So
Ty's at home going, damn it.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
now
Gavin.
the real live stream begins. Alethea wants to know, so investigators use music as a trigger, but is it less of a trigger, more of a connection?
Yeah, I think I would say so. That's how I view it anyway. I mean, that's in my view. I feel like what we're all trying to do and what you guys did such a beautiful job on, I have to say, with this entire Waverly investigation is to make a connection. I love the idea. Welcome back, dude.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I love the idea on an investigation of really approaching the entire thing with the sensitivity that it deserves. These are people, these are the spirits of people. And connections are the way that, I feel like you're going to absolutely get the most poignant results on an investigation. Not just for collecting evidence, but for coming away from the investigation changed on some level and having, something that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. That's an experience with the beyond. And so, yeah, I would say connection more than trigger.
So now that I'm back, I have a question too. Raven, we have gone to Waverly Hills together.
We have.
Untelevised, but what were your impressions of Waverly when you went versus what you're hearing us that we experienced when we really tried to engage it and dig deep?
I would say that I had pretty similar feelings and experiences at Waverly as to in relation to what was depicted on the show. I feel like Waverly is almost an entity in and of itself. It is a living, breathing piece of history. And there are places in Waverly that you go into that you get the creeps hard and you feel super displaced and weird. And you definitely feel like something's watching you that you wouldn't prefer as watching you. And then there are other parts of Waverly that you go into and you feel, an enormous peace and just a really lovely feeling. And I think that speaks to the idea that Waverly is, like you said, so many things. There's so many different types of spiritual energy attached to that place, so much history. And just like in the world when we're alive, you're going to walk into, if you're walking into a room with, thousands of people in it, there's going to be people in it that suck and that creep you out. And there's going to be people in it that you connect with and that you think are lovely and wonderful. So I think Waverly really kind of encapsulates the entire gamut of what a haunt can be.
That's triggered another question for me. If you don't mind sticking around for another minute or so.
Good.
Carol and Anna, what was an area of Waverly, whether it surprised you or not, what was an area of Waverly that you found beautiful, like Raven was just talking about?
So the first time I went there, we rushed through the 4th floor, like arms together, just a couple of us. This time I was up there. Well, I did go up there by myself and the flashlight kept going out. But at the same time, I went up again with Anna, and when she was playing the music and we were, putting bubbles all over the place, totally different feeling, 100% different feeling. I felt so comfortable. And to me, that was a big thing. I was like, wow, I'm comfortable on this floor. I'm never comfortable on this floor. And it shows that it's possible. You know what I mean? And the visions that I got of people being so curious as to what we were doing on such a scary floor, that was a big deal.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome. I think it's really cool as well to consider, how much our own predispositions, Anna talked about this, how much overlay we bring into an investigation, with what we know about a place walking in the door, and how that affects our ability to make the connections while we're there. Like sometimes when you walk in the door with a predisposition to be afraid, because you're going into a place like that, and then you have an experience that actually, validates your fear in a certain area, it's easy to try to almost just, become very myopic and go, okay, well, this is what this is. This entire floor is effed, like, I don't like it, kind of a thing. And then when you kind of switch your perspective and go back in there, with a completely different take on what you're about to do and what you're going to accomplish and what you're hoping to accomplish anyway, or to connect with, it kind of does all of a sudden peel back the layers of what's possible. It's like, oh, well, just because something scared me here, or just because I heard something happened here or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that that's all there is to this. This is, many, many things can be true. So, yeah, I think that's awesome. That's awesome that you just like completely switched your perspective and went in there with a totally clean slate, to try something new.
What about you, Anna? Was there a surprising place of beauty at Waverly for you? I saw you picking up sticks while we thought we weren't looking.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. I mean, the grounds that Waverly is on are really beautiful. I mean, it's covered in beech trees, and there are like grapevines everywhere, and just like these small pockets of forests that sort of reveal this gorgeous, gorgeous building. And it was just so calming to walk through those woods and those trees and have that moment in nature before going into the building. And yeah, it was great. Huh? No, there were deer. Yes, there were deer. Yep. Yeah, they were just sitting there staring at us. It was just lovely.
Yeah.
And I saw a baby dove that our producer argued with me was a duck.
I got we don't have it
for next time,
but I have a video of Carol just chasing after the duck with grabby hands. Not the duck, sorry, the dove with grabby hands, just being like, I want to come here. It's so funny.
But it just goes to what you're saying. Even like the woods, the wildlife around there is just so peaceful and just adorable.
It's my last question for you, Raven, and Anna, let me know if anyone in the chat has something specific for Raven before we let her go. But the Halloween party, did you guys talk about this while I was gone for the second?
Not really. I mean,
not especially.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts there? Having been to Waverly, having been in that lobby, that was where we spent a lot of time when I was there with you, was in the lobby. We had the sit down Estes method, and instead we replaced it with a full-on Halloween party. And I know Halloween's close to your heart, so what were your thoughts there of integrating Halloween as an investigation tactic?
I loved it. I thought it was so awesome, and I thought it brought such like sweetness and levity to the entire thing. I feel like there's, as paranormal investigators, it's important to take what we're doing seriously, but not necessarily ourselves seriously. And I loved the idea that, you went in there with not the goal to, what are you, who are you, blah, 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 blah. The goal was to change the vibe of the room and give them something back that maybe they hadn't had in a long time, and help you know what I mean, help bring memories back and engage that way, rather than just, I feel like something that happens a lot on investigations is that people, you know, not in a necessarily intentional way, but we sanitize the communication a lot. And you know, it's very much just, who are you? What is your name? You know, can you do this? Can you do that kind of a thing? I loved just going in there and being like, we're bringing you a party. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is a human thing that people do together. And I feel like that really humanizes what you're trying to connect with in a way that we don't often do enough, I think. And I just love that. I thought that was really special and really, really cool.
Awesome. That means a lot to hear you say that too.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Of course.
Anna, any specific questions, or we can release Raven into the night?
Into the night.
I think we can release Raven.
Okay. Before I do that, let's throw up the alchemy photo right now so that everyone can see Raven's latest project here. Make sure that the links are in the chat right now so that you can follow along with Raven. She's also an Instagram queen, so follow her there.
She's got incredible art on Instagram too. So like check
that's
that
right.
out.
I forgot one of your titles, Raven. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
At this top, up the top.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so nice. Thank you.
Yes, Raven has artwork. She has just musical everything going on there. I can't find the right words because she's a singer-songwriter, guitarist, song creator, and just freaking amazing person. So thank you for being on tonight, Raven.
Well, thank you guys so much again for having me. And it's just been such a joy to watch this season. And I dare say it is my favorite season of Haunt Me.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's so good, you guys. All right, I won't keep you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. So everyone in the audience, next up, we have one more clip for you while we say goodbye to Raven. And then we will come back and we will be choosing our winners from everyone who's been asking these amazing questions all night. And we'll do just a few more housekeeping items and we'll let everyone go into their dark and spooky night, including Raven right now.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
How about, like, if this reaches you, things might feel dire, and like talk about their situation that they're in? Is that okay?
Well, if they're intelligent. Johnny?
Aaron?
Guys? We have to go.
This is when it's gonna start up.
We gotta write it down. We gotta go.
I'll go look.
No, you write. I'll look. What was that? Hello?
It was a door slam, correct?
That's what I thought. Do you need something?
Johnny and Anna. Johnny and Aaron would not be going through a door that would slam like that, or we would have. You know what I mean?
Right.
The only one that I could think of is one that creaks.
Did you not want us reaching out to people? Telling them that they matter? That they're important beyond the here and now?
Flashlight's flipping out.
Which one do you have?
Not his.
Okay.
It's back.
What's wrong with this message? Oh my God, what's wrong with this?
Fuck?
That was a
What
bat.
was it?
It was a bat.
Oh God, I came off the ground. I feel like.
What's wrong with this message we're trying to share? And why are you trying to distract us from it?
It was flashing like while you guys were talking down the hallway.
Oh, Anna. Do you have something specific? It's the flashlight that I had that was flashing up here that was working just fine every other time. I thought he had his that was questionable.
If you have something specific you need to say that needs to be included in this note, can you flash that light again? Who's up in here? Well, we're writing you a message, okay? And make sure you read it. That way you can hear what we have to say, and we're not going to be here to bother you tonight or this morning.
Do we each want to sign this?
Sure.
Well, thank you guys, everyone in the audience, for staying with us and our guest tonight. We know it's a little bit longer of a live stream, but I've been loving it, especially that we get to share those extra clips that don't make the episodes, but are still cool. So I believe it is now time to draw those winners. Anna, do you have the people who are going to win an OM reading from you, a rune reading from me, and as well as a cute little ghosty crochet ornament for your holiday decoration?
I do. I have
each,
those.
Right? Yeah, hit them up.
Yeah.
These people get in touch with us.
Yeah. Oh, please. Yeah. So definitely. So shoot us an email at hauntmeofficial@gmail.com. That way we have your email and we can get in touch with you. It's just easier that way. Facebook is good too. But oh God, and my phone just went to sleep. Okay. The rune reading. Paul Damiani.
Paul's mine? Okay, I got you, Paul. We'll talk on email.
The OM reading, Crystal Smith. And the winner of the most adorable ghost in the whole wide world, Pam Matthews.
Awesome. Thank you guys for asking those questions today. Like, it really kept this going and lively. It's cool when there's like a back and forth, right?
I just, and I know we say this a lot, but it's really nice to connect with the people who feel the same as we do about the paranormal. And like, I know it's kind of weird because it's like fans and show people, but really like we're just like peers in all of this and sharing and talking and theorizing about the paranormal is really just a joy, both with you, Carol and Ty, and with everybody who has been watching this evening.
I echo that 100%. That's awesome. Well said, Anna. So before we let everyone go, you've been working on something else, or you created something else, right? Do you want to tell everyone about what it is?
Yeah. So I'm always brainstorming new things. Like this year I did the digital Ouija board, which I'm excited to kind of like build out, but this is a little separate. So I have created essentially a journal based on the techniques that we use. And we kind of premiered something like this earlier, a couple seasons back, but I really wanted to, I don't know, zhuzh it up. So here it is. So essentially it covers, so it will be a journal where you can write down the location, what's going on astrologically, both the moon phases and, you know, if Mercury's in retrograde, things like that. As well as writing down EVP timestamps, any names and dates that come up, Estes method notes, you know, anything divination poll. So you can like kind of keep track of that story. And then you can kind of start to have a journal and draw correlations, or just honestly be like, look, I did this thing, which I love doing. So this is something that will be available to everyone, probably digitally at first, although I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hoping that we can get like legit ones printed, but for now we'll start there. So I'm sure that'll be available on our website, haunt-me.com. And keep an eye out. I know spooky season's over, but I get bored easily and like to create new things. So if you just keep an eye on our shop, honestly.
Just honestly, Krista and Anna just put a ton of stuff in the coffee shop, which is, oh my God, www.co, is it -fi?
Yeah, so it's in the chat right now. So I lied. It's not on our website. It's on our coffee. So it's www.ko-fi.com/hauntmeofficial. That's where all our goodies will be. And yeah, so it'll start off as a digital print and then hopefully something physical.
So before we go tonight, challenge for both of you girls. I would love to hear both of your thoughts, like a final conclusion on not just like Waverly Hills as an entity, but our investigation in creating the season. But the challenge comes in. Would love to hear your thoughts, keeping it under 30 seconds for this live stream time. So Anna, I'm going to choose you first. What's your final takeaway of Waverly Hills?
Not haunted, but beautiful.
I respectfully disagree on the first part, but
that's fine.
Wholly disagree on the second. Wholly agree, I mean.
Yeah.
So, but like, what did you love about this season? What did you hate about it? Like, what are your overall
you want
thoughts
more?
about
Yeah, I mean, like, look, anything we create together is wonderful. Like, even like, there were points in this investigation I was frustrated, and I was like, this is not a thing. But again, it's just like, it's how you enter into a space that's going to inform your investigation. And I think I was reminded of that while also still being practical about the influences of this location. But I love that we came from it from two different sides and kind of still came to an interesting conclusion, and it's just fun making art.
Well said. Carol, what are your thoughts on Waverly? Your final thoughts on Waverly in this season?
I can put it all together with I get this overwhelming I'm just so proud of us feeling. Just so proud of us. Like all of the things we've ever done, we combined it this season. We actually combined it everything, and we wanted to go in so respectful because this was a place that meant a lot to us, and it was a return for me I haven't been there in 13 years. So just the whole group, watching you guys from the outside looking in, everybody just did their best, and I'm just so proud.
Yeah, that's wonderfully said. For me, I think one of the really cool things is that this with Waverly, oh, my cat's coming back. With Waverly, it really brought Haunt Me full circle for me, because, and I wish we talked about this with Ash a little bit at the beginning. Sorry, cat's coming in.
Hi, Momo.
He's like Godzilla.
Sorry. Anyways, move along, bud. And what I was saying is 13 years ago in Ash's living room, when we were just talking about making Haunt Me a series, we had the Waverly EVPs that Carol and I had got from our first time that we were there. And we actually taught our friends to search digital audio files for EVPs with what we had caught from Waverly the first time, which was awesome, and so that was really one of the first things Haunt Me did together. And now 13 years later, we blast forward, and I love when things go full circle, and we came back to Waverly as that same Haunt Me team that had trained about Waverly like 10 years beforehand. And that was such a special experience for me to have.
I think that's part of the overwhelming feeling that I feel, is that it was full circle. And that's why I was so proud of everyone for being so respectful. It just meant a lot. This season meant a lot.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think the experiences we had knocked it out of the park. For me, hearing the stories from John at Waverly Hills was probably one of my favorite parts of the investigation.
Yeah, John was awesome.
Fantastic. And I just, the chats that we've been able to have and talking with people and getting their ideas as we've been airing it is so amazing to hear what you guys watching, what your thoughts on Waverly, like disagreeing with us or backing us up with our weird ideas. Both are amazing. And it really helps push the field forward. And it's cool to be able to present our ideas and our theses with you and have you guys either tear them down and force us to look harder, or to build us up and encourage us to work harder. Either way, we work harder for you guys, and really appreciate you being here for us when we air every year. So that was my love note to the viewers right there. Do you have anything that you guys want to say before we head off? Because I think that this would be a perfect moment to sign off and say goodnight to another season.
We love you all.
Bye.
Yeah, Julia Sanderson.
This is depressing.
Bye. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Keep base with any of the crafting adventures that Anna is going to be doing in the off season. And again, it's www.haunt-me to keep up with everything that's going on. You'll want to follow Instagram, which Anna handles, Facebook, which I handle, and then we're not going to talk about Twitter right now.
No, Twitter.
I don't handle anything.
No, Twitter can't handle itself.
That's right. Carol, we can give you Twitter. It's imploding. You'll love it.
No, don't. Remember that time I tried to have my own? And I also had to take myself off the admin for Facebook. I accidentally did something.
The perfect way to sign off is for everyone to see the inside look of Hurricane Carol first Haunt Me. It's so good. But anyways, thank you guys.